Hey, this is Ava Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com. In this review, I will be highlighting the special features and other notables of the Magnugiga and Drew set from the 2009 television series Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. The Magnugiga and Drew set is an accessory set. It can work by itself, but it's mostly meant to augment or improve or upgrade a different set which is separately sold. Each of these sets, and there's 3 of them as of the recording of this, has a contract beast, which is Magnugiga here, and the plainclothes version of the Kamen Rider associated with that. In this case, we have Drew Lansing, who is Kamen Rider Torque. As with all Kamen Rider Dragon Knight sets, the Magnugiga and Drew set comes with an advent card, specifically Torque's guard vent. You can tell it's Torque's because it's got the little minotaur down there. You'll also have, actually I'll turn it this way, you also have the set number up there, so you actually know which card goes with which Tor set. The guard vent is Magnugiga's chest, and it's just a shield that offers up 3,000 points of protection. What you're supposed to do is you stick this into the drag visor, which unfortunately I don't have as of the shooting of this video. I'm really disappointed though that they didn't give us a Magnu visor, which would have been pretty awesome. I would have gotten the Magnu visor. But I digress. I will be getting a drag visor eventually, so I'll be covering this card specifically in that review when I get to it. I'll just quickly go over Drew here. A very simple figure made of ABS and PVC. The only posability for poor Drew here is he's got the shoulders forward, backward, and his head twists all the way around. He can do a Beetlejuice if you want to. The only thing on this figure I should say, oh yeah, by the way, the advent belt, it's actually pretty detailed. It's like one of the most detailed things on there other than his hair, so that's pretty cool. Ordinarily, when in their, shall I say, civilian forms, a Kamen Rider's advent belt will not be visible. It's not until they whip out their advent deck, call out the transformation phrase, Kamen Rider, and then the belt suddenly appears and they can transform into a Kamen Rider. By the way, I know they say Kamen Rider, but to me it's tomato, so I say it the way they do in Japan, which is Kamen Rider. So, anyways, don't make any beef about that. No hate mail, no nothing like that. And now we get to the guts of the set, which is Magnugiga, who is the contract beast. He's the shape of a minotaur, a heavily augmented minotaur, very very powerful looking thing. It's made of, well, almost all ABS, with the exception of his horns, which are PVC. The posability is, it's okay. You got the elbow movement, which is really nice on both. The claws can open and close, which is nice. The shoulders can also tilt up and down, which is cool. And then the head can twist side to side all the way around. That's it for posability. That's all that Magnugiga does. I kind of wish he'd had a little more movement, maybe in the knees and the hips, but whatever. It's a simplified set. It's only, what, 5 inches tall? So it's okay for 5 inches. Magnugiga is meant to interact directly with the 4-inch Kamen Rider figure of Kamen Rider Torque. That's this guy. Contract beasts are the power sources of the Kamen Rider. They give a portion of their energy to a Kamen Rider in exchange for the targets that they destroyed and for their loyalty. If either the Kamen Rider or the contract beast is vented, the other will disappear as well. So they are reliant on each other, which is why there is loyalty of the contract beast towards the Kamen Rider, regardless of the rider's motivation. All contract beasts, in forming this kind of symbiotic relationship with the Kamen Rider, whenever a rider uses specific advent cards, the contract beast will actually take parts of itself off. So like with Dragon Knight and Drag Rider will contribute his tail, he'll contribute his head, he'll contribute his clawed belly. With Kamen Rider Wing Knight, it's Darkwing's wings for his his cape. It's his tail, or whatever it is, I'm not exactly certain, for his sword vent. And this is the case with all Kamen Riders. They contribute parts of themselves. Well, the same thing certainly applies with Magnugiga and Kamen Rider Torque. If Torque uses his shoot vent, then Magnugiga's arms would separate up away from his torso and become this huge under-the-arm kind of cannon, which is pretty awesome. Or if Torque uses his launch vent card, then Magnugiga's legs will pop off and form a pair of giant shoulder cannons, which, again, awesomeness. That's one of the reasons I like Torque, is because he's got this cool arsenal. But unfortunately, this set does not provide detachable weapons for Torque. It's a 3-inch action figure and a 5-inch action figure. I think that their sizes really interrupted this process. Like, they couldn't have done it. But they might have been able to do the launch vent. They might have even been able to do the guard vent or the shoot vent. Because of the limited posability on Torque, he can't really grab any of those weapons. He certainly couldn't hold the launch vent. He could hold the shoot vent, but I don't know, because I mean, he's got holes all over him. So you would kind of expect that his contract beast would be able to come apart and you'd be able to attach it to him. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. Instead, we get this kind of weird thing. The head pops off, and the thing along the back twists downwards, and you actually do have one of the holes, the forearm hole there, put the little peg in the hole, and you get this thing. I have no idea what this thing is because, well, he doesn't use it in the show. This is an original vent, which I don't know. So, anyways, yeah, that's the only interactiveness for a vent that Kamen Rider Torque has with Magnugiga, which, that pissed me off. That really pissed me off. Surely the guard vent and shoot vents would have been available. Unfortunately, they're not. All you get is this. That is really annoying. There is, however, one feature which is recreated from the series, and that is Kamen Rider Torque's final vent. Position the arms thusly, open the claws thusly. You see that there's Gatling cannon in there. Now here's with the parts you haven't seen yet. You fold these cannons down. There are holes in the back. You just push on them. By the way, those cannons are... Okay, look at the camera. Okay, there you go. Cannons are hollow, by the way. And so far, it's right. Yeah. Now here's the kind of annoying thing. I don't exactly know how they could have done... You kind of have to use friction to do this. But you can open up his chest, and you get, I believe it's 56 micro missile launches, just sitting there. So there's ponage waiting to happen right there. Now, ordinarily, the Kamen Rider, they would just jump on top of their contract beast, or the contract beast would come out and kind of energize them, or give them an upgrade, or blah, 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 blah. With Torque, oh, no, 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 no. It's a whole other different story. With Torque, make sure he's holding his Magnuvisor, which is his Advent card scanner. And what you do, you take the Magnuvisor. This is, I think I'm going to crack up on camera. You take the Magnuvisor and you stick it up Magnugiga's ass. How else is that? You stick it up his ass. And then you get I know this is a bad angle, but you get Kamen Rider Torque's final vent. I think that these toys suffer a lot from the size that they're being produced in. 4.5 inches has very little space to work in. They don't even give the Kamen Riders decent shoulders. They don't have elbow joints. They don't have a waist joint. They're just not. You can't do much with them. Yeah, you can hold them in your hand and kind of blah, 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 things like that. But for collectors like me, we kind of want a little more variety in the posing. I know that there are larger figures out there, but what I'm getting at here is that because the Kamen Rider figure is smaller, the contract beast suffers a lot from it. It can't be versatile because the Kamen Rider figure is small. So you can't recreate the launch vent. You can't recreate the shoot vent. You can't, well, you might have been able, okay, there's no excuse whatsoever. They could have done the guard vent. Okay, basically, it's just the torso just pops off and forms a giant shield. They could have done the guard vent. And I think they could have done the chute vent. I'm not sure which is the one with the legs. I think they could have done that. I mean, he certainly got the holes on the bottom of him to do that. But wow. But I don't know. There's a lot of potential here that just got lost in the size. Now, the thing you have to keep in mind, and I researched this before I did this video, these toys are completely built from scratch by Bandai Creation, by Bandai America, for the Kamen Rider Dragon Knight series. The original Japanese version of these characters from Kamen Rider Ryuki, the original Japanese series in 2002, Zolda, Kamen Rider Zolda, which is like Russian or French for soldier or mercenary, and Magnugiga, like they actually kept the original Japanese name for him, whatever. They actually were about 6 inches tall, and the armor could actually pop off, so you could actually see the original, like Zolda's head, like his civilian head. You could actually take the head off and blah 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 blah. If Bandai had brought over those original designs, I would have been much more happy, because those versions of the characters actually can recreate just about every single vent that there is. You can have the launch vent, the chute vent, the guard vent, and the final vent, certainly. But you could actually take the parts off of here and put it onto the figure, and the figure would actually be able to pose with them. That's the annoying thing, is these 4.5-inch figures, they're so limited that it's no small wonder that Magnugiga can't separate stuff and put it onto the figure. So the versatility is definitely needed for a more satisfying experience. So what you get here is okay. And I'm also willing to bet that if they hadn't put the money for the overall set, if they hadn't put money into the character figure, then the quality of the Contract Beast figure would have been a lot higher. So, like, Bandai America, if you want to give us characters, which, by the way, they didn't have in the original Japanese version, not like this, if you want to give us the characters, give it to us in a separate set, and then put the money into that separate set, and then, just for this set, if you want to make it $15, $16, whatever it is, you could have, all those parts pop off or whatever. So, I think the money just kind of went to the wrong place, and it dragged down Magnugiga quite a bit. But again, I also think that because of the size of the figures overall, you couldn't really do much with Magnugiga to begin with. So, in the end, this is the best that can be expected from figures of this size. So, because of that, this is a good set. It does what it can with what it has to work with. Yeah, the crossbow shooting thing up there is a little on the odd side. I don't know. I still think they could have done the card vent and the chute vent. But I can't really say I like it, but I didn't think it was the greatest little feature. I suppose in order for fans like me not to protest in some fashion, guess what? You didn't avoid that. They had to have something from the Contract Beast pop off and go on there. So, in the long run, I'm going to go with the Japanese version, if I can even find the Japanese version anymore. But this set does what it can with what it has to work with, and that's good. So, I'll recommend this. It's good enough for little kids, which the toys are shooting for, even though the series itself shoots for a slightly older audience. So, but the Magnugiga and Drew set is, I'll say, a little less than sufficient. Like, there were things they could have done that they didn't do. And once more, I'd like to say thank you very much to Vivian of the Rogers Group for providing this set for me to cover for y'all. Thank you very much, Vivian. And so, this is AV Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com, signing off.
Can
Gonna say.